The Italian Wine Podcast is the community-driven platform for Italian wine geeks around the world. Support the show by donating at ItalianWinepodcast.com. Donate €5 or more and we'll send you a copy of our latest book, My Italian Grape Geek Journal, absolutely free. To get your free copy of My Italian Grape Geek Journal, click Support Us at ItalianWinepodcast.com or wherever you get your pods. Grazie mille.
Welcome to this special Italian Wine Podcast broadcast. This episode is a recording off Clubhouse, the popular drop-in audio chat. This Clubhouse session was taken from the Wine Business Club and Italian Wine Club. Listen in as wine lovers and experts alike engage in some great conversation on a range of topics in wine. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinepodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. And remember to subscribe and rate our show wherever you tune in.
All right, you guys, so let me just start the room and see. Hopefully, we will have our guest. Ciao, Anna.
Ciao, Stevie. How are you?
Good. Hello, everyone. My name's Stevie Kim, and welcome to Italian Wine Room on Clubhouse. We've been doing this since the pandemic, really. So for some time now. This is the way it works, okay? We ask one of our Italian wine ambassadors at large, we ask them to invite one of their favorite Italian wine producers, and they get to have this more like a fireside chat style interview through Clubhouse platform for about an hour or so, right? So we've been doing this for some time. I don't know, since the pandemic, so quite a number of episodes. And I know Anna's been our host for many times now already, right, Anna?
Yeah, I just love doing these interviews, Stevie.
Yeah.
Really enjoying this nice talks. Yeah.
So Anna Obukhovskaya. Did I say that right? Obukhovskaya.
No. Obukhovskaya.
Obukhovskaya. By the time maybe we'll have an hour to learn or so. There's a lot going on in the office today. We have the blind tasting with Cynthia going on in a little bit. There is the game. I think some soccer match. Everyone going to a bar. And we've just come from Naples, from Campi Flegrei. There was an earthquake. There was actually a fire going on as well. But we're all back. A lot of things going on today. So Anna, where are you? You know, in my show notes, it says that you've been an Italian wine ambassador since 2023. I feel like you've been for many, many years.
Well, Stevie, I did 3 attempts to become an ambassador to pass the exam.
Oh, right.
So I've been around a long time, yeah.
Wait, hold on. But you definitely made up for lost time because you've been with us and now you are living in Slovenia. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. I'm now in Ljubljana, Slovenia.
And how's that going? How is that change living from Russia to Ljubljana?
Well, Slovenia, I'm sure you've been here. So you know it's a really beautiful country. It's small. It's somehow a hidden gem of Europe. There's not so many countries like that because it's just on the border with Italy, Austria, and Croatia. But somehow it's not on the touristic paths so much. And the nature is absolutely beautiful, and the food scene is stunning. We have quite a few. I think now it's 11 Michelin star restaurants within a small country with only 2 million people population.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so a lot of creative chefs, great food, you know, which is really a base for a great cuisine. So yeah, it's really, really interesting, and I'm working in an importing company, and we import European wines to Slovenia. That's really our focus. We're not so much selling Slovenian wine, but introducing Italian wines, French, Spanish, and Portuguese in Slovenia.
Which Italian wine producers are you importing so far?
Well, we have Suavia.
Okay.
we have, of course, Dimeo from Campania. It's one of our recent editions. We also have great Chianti Classico Silva Piana.
Okay.
Antoniolo from Gattinara. Yeah.
Yeah, very
So
good. All right.
I guess I'm not. Tunia also natural wine. So I guess that's about it.
All righty. So today your guest is Gabriele Brugnori. Why did you ask Gabriele Brugnori to be your guest today?
Just because Verdicchio always fascinate me. Since I started learning at Veneto International Academy, I discovered more and more about this variety, and I'm just so fascinated with the range of styles and the beauty of aging of these wines. And Bisci Winery is a great example of a relatively small but outstanding in quality producer. So they deserve that more people know them around the globe, definitely.
Fantastic. And when did you meet Gabriele for the first time? How did you meet Gabriele?
Well, it was Bisci. What was one of my personal big discoveries at Opera Wine a few years ago. So Gabriele was presenting his wine of the year, and I tasted a lot of great wines that day. You know, like creme de la creme of Italy is out there.
Opera wine, one of our favorites.
Yeah, and then I got absolutely swept away with Bisci. What they represented that day, it was Senex Verdicchio di Matelica Riserva, and I met Gabriele in person for the first time, and he just explained everything about specific terroir and about how they work, and I just also asked a lot of questions why this wine is becoming so complex and what gives its special character. So that's how we met.
Fantastic. And what are we looking into in terms of learning objectives from your call today?
Well, I just I would like us to know more about Matelica specifics. Just to know, this is quite a small area of production, and I would like us to discover more of the origin of the particular style of Verdicchio, also about key specifics of the region and what is going on in the area right now in terms of winemaking.
Fantastic. So I'm looking forward to this call. Welcome, Gabriele. I will be now muting my mic, and we'll come back towards the end of the show as usual. Okay, Anna? Over to you.
Thank you, Stevie. Thank you. So hello, everyone. I would like to start this interview with Gabriele. Ciao, Gabriele. How are you?
Ciao, Anna. Ciao, Steve. I'm fine, thanks. A bit hot over here, but I'm fine.
Has it been really, really warm, very hot these days out there in Matelica?
Yeah, I mean, the hot came suddenly in the last 2 days. But, we expected then, so we are prepared.
Yeah, great. So, Gabriele, please tell us a brief story of Bisci Winery, when it was founded and who is in charge of making wines.
Well, first of all, thanks a lot for organizing this interview. It's a pleasure. And Bisci is an historical estate in Le Marche. It was founded in 1974. Everything started from Pierino and Giuseppe, two brothers of the Bisci family. They were wood carpenter, but they were in love with their land, of their area. They were lover of wine. So they were looking at the area where the estate is now since some years. And then because they knew that was a perfect area for growing vineyard, there were already some vineyards over there. And so in 74, they succeeded to buy it. And from then on, they for a few years, they've been growing some grape and selling locally to other producer, a small cooperative, and later on in '82 they had their own first bottle, and from then on the story of Bisci went ahead, always producing wine that is really respectful of what they produce in the vineyard, and trying to create and produce the cleaner wine possible. So from 1982, started the production, and then the first, probably the first knowledge uh, of the wines started later on in 2006, 2008. From then on, the wines has always been very well received and appreciated by the markets and by magazine, by uh, journalists, and then in the last few years we were also selected in the great opera wine that you just mentioned, great super event from Wine Spectator in Verona, and so. Let's say that's the top we are reaching, but we like to stay up there.
Excuse me, which year you were first invited to Opera Wine?
First invitation was 4 years ago, I think, the first time, if I'm correct. So it was. Usually when you are at Opera Wine, you see all these big names, and the beginning for us was a bit of a surprise, but we were, not expecting, but we were thinking that, historically, by the way we are considered in Italy, we think that we appreciated a lot that invitation. And it was great. I mean, it repaid a lot of effort that has been done in the past years.
Yeah, I think Wine Spectator team does a really great job selecting smaller producers from regions that are not really on the radar, not really on a big scale. Some hidden gems of Italy. I really appreciate it. And this last Opera Wine, I was happy to see more and more producers from Basilicata, from Liguria. It's really outstanding. Not only big names, but also some smaller estates which need to be known in the wine world, because the quality is just spectacular. So, how long have you been within this project within Bishi?
Well, I've been involved in the Bishi project since more than 8 years now. I mean, in the past, the estate was within the portfolio of the famous Marte Grazia group, and but then later on, when the estate was took over by Mauro and Tito, the two sons of Giuseppe, they wanted to have a bit more direct control of the distribution all over the world. So I knew Haroldo Bellelli, the enologist, and then he wanted me to join them and support them, consult them for taking over the distribution, trying to develop it better. And so more than 8 years now.
Yeah, that's great. And within it seems like a lot has changed within this 8 years already. So quite great progress. To which countries you now exporting? Where are you present now? At which markets?
Yeah, I mean the main markets are the standard main markets. I think for most of the Italian winery, the main market is definitely the U.S. market. We are present in U.S. Since more than 20 years, and thanks to great partnership, we cover different states in the U.S., and that's really the main market. Then the second market is Europe. It's closer to us, and probably the Verdicchio is well known, even if the story of Verdicchio has been quite particular because it was more or less the same story of Soave. It was very famous in the 70s. Then the production increased too much. The quality went a bit down. But likely in the last 15 years, a lot of new players came, a lot of new young guys started to have their own winery, and the Verdicchio regained a lot popularity in terms also of quality, because really it's very well known as one of the three main white varieties that can produce top wine in Italy.
Italian Wine Podcast, brought to you by Mama Jumbo Shrimp.
So the main markets are definitely Europe, mainly the West area. What I'm concentrating more now is trying to develop a bit more the east part of Europe. We are present in very mature markets like Japan and Korea. That's something that I'm very curious to try in the future, Southeast of Asia. But again, US and Canada the best market, and Europe second.
And how is it going with Asia? I mean, are you trying to get there, or you're already there in some countries?
We are in countries, as I said, Korea and Japan. I mean, those countries has a great knowledge of our, mainly of our Italian whites and reds, and but it's a bit more difficult in the southeast. Southeast, I did try in the past Singapore, but it seems like nowadays they are opening up a bit more. The market becoming a bit more curious about white wines. Usually China and Southeast, they were more keen to, it seems, I mean, at least for my knowledge, it seems they were more keen to try and to drink red wines. But it seems that, the popularity of the whites are gaining a lot of field. So I'm very, very curious and interested in developing the southeast part of Asia, because I also think that for us, for our Verdicchio, for the Verdicchio in general, would be a great market, because I think there will be a nice pairing between the characteristic of our wine and the food they have in the southeast of Asia.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a great appreciation for white wine in Japan and Korea, as far as I know, as far as I talk to my colleagues from these countries. Yeah, that's really interesting. But closer to the specifics of region, can you please tell us or describe what are the most specific traits of Matelica area, and what influences the style, and what makes this wine so different from other Verdicchio wines?
Verdicchio, Matelica and Castelli Jesi, the two denominations of the Verdicchio area are completely different areas, and also completely different in size. If we look at the size, more or less it's 1 to 10. 1 in Matelica and 10 in Jesi. In Matelica we have a bit less than 300 hectares, and in Jesi they have a bit less than 3,000 hectares. But the main difference is really the area. The Jesi area is characterized by these rolling hills going from the Pre-Apennine toward the sea. And so that area, apart from a smaller valley that created within the hills, is influenced by the sea, while Matelica is a more inland valley facing north, protected by the sea influence by the Pre-Apennine. So we have this valley where the climate is continental, and the really most important, and really what it makes the difference is the climate, but in particular in summertime, in summertime, harvest time, when, we're talking about August, mid-September, when the temperature in Italy reach quite high level, the thermal escalation, the temperature at night, it drops a lot. So easier, in August when the temperature goes above 30 degrees, in Matelica, during the night, it goes down to 20, 21. So, and that's really something that helped the grape to stay uh, completely safe from being cooked by the sun. So the skin is well preserved, the perfume is well preserved, and the acidity is well kept. That's really the most important part that really make the difference between the Matelica area and the Jesi area. So if you want to compare uh, the two wine, well, we can say, generally, we can say that in Matelica you have beautiful structure, great acidity, probably a bit leaner and vertical style. In Jesi, depending on the area, you have a bit bolder and a bit bolder and Verdicchio. But again, it's beautiful acidity. That is something that is typical of the grape.
But yeah, thank you so much for explaining this. But due to higher altitude in Matelica in comparison to Jesi, there's also a higher level of solar radiation. Yeah, sun is more active. But are there any training practices to protect grapes from the sun? Are you using anything specific?
No. I mean, we work trying to keep the bunches protected using the leaves, keeping the leaves when it's necessary. No, I mean, the solar radiation is very important. Bright sun is nice. The ventilation is another very interesting components in our area. But in terms of solar radiation, I mean, we don't use anything to protect. I mean, anything that is not part of the vine itself by means of leaves. And that's when no other particular practice for that.
Okay, it's interesting. Yeah, thank you. And also, probably soils are quite different. It's more Matelica is more inland as you described, but it's also in the valley, so it's in the mountains, more or less. Yeah. So what's the soil component?
Mountains, but Anna, it's not really the altitude that makes difference because we are around 400 meters. And if you look at the highest part of Jesi, it's probably a bit higher. But the main difference is really this valley oriented north, where you have a completely different climate. That's really a difference. And soil where we have clay with limestone. In particular, in our vineyards, we have different and important calcareous components.
Yeah, which gives a lot of minerality and structure to the wine. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. In all of the wines, I mean, I tried the whole range of what you produce. Thanks so much for that opportunity, and I can say that all of the wines have this specific, very clean mineral finish, very bright character. As if it's a metal spine to the wine. It's not a softer character. It's if you draw a picture, for example, you would take a really sharp pen, that would be the style actually of this acidity of style of Vichy wine. Yeah, it's lovely. It's really striking. That I guess that's what fascinates so much when you taste it. You don't expect this power from the white wine.
Yeah, I mean, if I can use the word that Jan D'Agata has been using, a few years ago when we did the 50th anniversary of the the 50th anniversary of the DOC Matelica. It was 2017, but it means that the DOC of Matelica is quite old. I mean, it's one of the oldest white denomination in Italy. It was created in 1967. And Jan Dagada described the Verdicchio as a white wine with a burgundy structure and with the freshness of Riesling. So it really gives you, I think, these two sentences, the idea of what summarize what you have been saying.
Well, definitely Ndagata is a genius, putting in this simple phrase really the key meaning of, I couldn't say better. Obviously, couldn't say better.
Jan has a great knowledge of our area. Has been visiting the area and tasting many vintages, so he knows the area very well. So I hope that would be a really nice key to enter, the Asian market. He's now working in China with the Terroir Sense project. So I hope we'll help the Verdicchio to enter there.
Yeah, definitely more and more countries deserve to have Vichy. Absolutely.
Yeah, but not only Vichy.
And more great Italian wines. Yeah,
the great will be, Anna, that the Verdicchio in general will receive the recognition. As a Vichy winery, we are trying to do our best, and probably what characterize our wine in the different market, and really what made Vichy well known, in particular in US, was the coherence that we had through all the years in producing our wine. If I need to go back to the initial question about the history of Vichy, probably I would say that a mark of the history was 2006. In 2006, Aroldo Bellelli, the current winemaker, he was already there at the state because he joined the state quite young as an agronomist. But in 2006, those years, there was a bit of a fashion of using wood in white wine. And so I still remember tasting different white wine with a lot of wood, too much in my taste, for my taste. In 2006, there were some of consultants that were trying to not invite, but trying to explain to the owner, to Giuseppe and his brother, that probably would have been the time to start to introduce some wood in the Verdicchio, because the market was looking for those kind of wine. But that was really a decision taken later that really marked and put the sign and what a decision to go ahead and keep the coherence all over the years. Because at that point, when those requests arrived, Mauro, son of Giuseppe, and Aroldo, they both were saying, look, Giuseppe, if you want to introduce the wood, the estate is yours, you are the owner, and you take the final decision, you decide. But don't count on us because we do not agree. So after a few days, Giuseppe went back to them saying, okay, you are the new generation and I think I better listen to you. So from then on, they went ahead using just concrete as usually. And that, I think, is really paid off because when I joined the company 8 years ago and I started to get in contact with, in particular, the importer in US, I found different people that knew Vichy, and every time was the same statement. I know this wine since many years, and it's great because I recognize it. So for me, it was really, I was surprised. But then knowing more and more the way we work in the state, I realized why that is really true.
That was a very wise decision, actually. Not well.
Well,
Yeah.
Anna, you taste it. You don't need any wood. I mean, there are beautiful Verdicchio done with wood, and in the recent years are even nicer because, again, for my taste, too much wood is too much. Nowadays, there are very nice use of wood, delicate wood in Verdicchio, but we think for what we like that, I mean, if you want more important wine, more, let's say, more structure, um, you don't need to use any wood. You need to work more better in the vineyard, select more, concentrate more probably in the vineyard rather than adding or using a wood. And that's our style, that's our idea, and I think we managed to do that. And I think if you taste the different, great selection of Verdicchio, you will really find that wood is nice, but it's not necessary.
Thank you very much for explaining. This is really, I guess, adds a lot to understanding the particular style and specifics. And can you please speak a little about the single vineyard that you have? What makes it so special? Where is it? And what's the terroir at this single vineyard?
Yeah, the single vineyard, I mean, the estate is, the vineyards are all around the estate, all around the cellar. And by the way, you have to come and visit the estate. I mean, it's time now. And so, the wine, you need to know the vineyard as well. You see the vineyard in person. And
Well, thank you. I would love to come. Actually, never been to Marki yet.
yeah, well, you're quite close. Slovenia is not that far. And
That's true. That's true.
So all the vineyards are around the cellar. We probably plant and expand a bit more, planting 2 more hectares in a little property that is close by to the cellar. And we recently, I mean, since 2 years now, we started to manage another beautiful vineyard that is not that far from the cellar, but owned by an old producer, beautiful, more than 25 years old vineyard, and we use that. Just to say that the main part of the vineyard are all around the center, and within these vineyards around the cellar, we have these beautiful old vines, Vigneto Fogliano. Most of the plant has been planted in 1978. As you know, some of the vines have been replaced because some of them die, so we replaced some of the plants. But in general, the vineyard has been planted in 1978. The soil is really, as I said, is clay, not really compact, with very important beans of limestone, calcareous components. And those two things, clay and calcareous components, really give something special to the vineyard and to the grape produced by these old vines. And there, what we do, we also have the lowest yield, the lowest production compared to the other vineyards. That's the vineyard where we really leave only probably two benches, 3 benches sometimes on the vine, just to have something that really they really produce beautiful bunches, beautiful grapes. Because again, what makes the difference is what you produce in the vineyard. Paying a lot of attention in the vineyard, paying a lot of attention on the vines and the grape you produce, it really makes a difference. And so that is really what makes the vineyard special. Old vines, selection, a lot of attention, clay, limestone, and once we are able to have this beautiful grape from these vines, we keep those wine, the juice, the must in concrete. We didn't say yet. I didn't say yet, but we only use concrete. We don't have any. We use a little bit of wood only for the Sangiovese and fermentation of the Merlot on stainless steel. But for the whites, we do fermentation and refinement only in large concrete vats, mainly 50 hectoliters vitrified concrete vat. And for the Vigneto Fogliano, we keep the wine in these vats, concrete vats, for more or less 1 year, let's say between 9, 10, 12 months. Depends on the vintage. We taste the wine and we see and we decide when it's time to put it in the bottle.
Does climate change does it make a big difference now for you? Are you facing any challenges within climate change?
Look, I have to say that what really scares us for the moment are hails. You know, when you have this summer, but also in this period, we had 2-3 thunderstorms, and likely, I mean, fortunately, the hails didn't hit the hills. It was hitting mainly a few weeks ago was mainly on the coast, and but that's really something that scares us because in terms of climate change. While for the increasing of temperature and the weather change, I mean, for us, I don't want to say that it was better, but you know, we started to harvest a bit earlier by means of more or less 10 days. In the past, we used to harvest by the end of September, beginning of October. Nowadays, we start the harvest around mid-September, right after mid-September. And this means that we anticipate the period of rain. So most of the time in the recent years, with the climate change, the harvest is quite fast with good weather. So the change we had for us is, I wouldn't say it's better, but it didn't really bring anything wrong for now. But really, what really scares us are the hail. Hail is something that it can happen. It can happen. And,
it's absolutely unpredictable, and then it just
no, the hail is there is nothing you can do because probably it hit you and 100 meters far from you there is nothing, only rain, and that's the hail.
Yeah, that does sound pretty scary.
Yeah, I mean, you have seen this year. I think this year, the Chablis area got hit very hard, as far as I've been reading. So,
yeah, I wanted to ask. I know that in Matelica there is a longer ripening period. So you obviously have you pick up. You have harvest later than on the coastal area. But what's the difference between? What's the difference in the harvest? Is it 1 week? Is it more?
no, usually, well, you know, harvest really depends from the size of the state. We have in total 17 hectares of Verdicchio and a little part of Merlot and Sangiovese. And usually when everything goes correctly with good weather, within a week we complete everything. Since 3 years, we start a bit earlier to take some grape that we use for the bubble, for the Verdicchio extra brut, the Martinotti method that we introduced since 3 vintage now. And if we don't have any rain, really, in 1 week, everything is over. Otherwise, you know, if some little rain comes, you need to stop, wait a bit. Sometimes it happens that it takes up to 2 weeks. And usually, yes, the difference between Matelica and Jesi is that we always harvest around 10 days later than the Jesi area. More or less, depends. The lower part of Jesi, sometimes they even start at the end of August nowadays.
Yeah. Well, interesting. You already mentioned a few varieties that you work with, but can you give a bit more details? Which varieties you work with aside from Verdicchio, and what's the role of these varieties in your estate? Which wines you also produce and which appellations? It's really interesting.
Yeah, and as I said, we are a Verdicchio producer, and we will increase the production on the Verdicchio, but we also have this little part of reds. In the past, really long time ago, there were also other reds in the vineyard that has been removed and planted, replaced with Verdicchio. But what we kept was Merlot and Sangiovese, because we realized that those two varieties, they were giving us something very interesting. I mean, Merlot is an early ripening, and it is colder area adapted very well. And Merlot is quite common in the Matelica area. Probably arrived with the occupation of the French in 1800, and it stayed adapted, and we use it out of these two varieties, Merlot and Sangiovese. In the past, we used to have a blend little entry IGT with more Merlot, and the other selection with more Sangiovese. Nowadays, we have the Merlot, IGT Rosso Merlot, that is almost 100%. We probably use, 3-5% of Sangiovese. It depends on the vintage. And there, we probably increase a bit as well the production, because nowadays we don't produce more than 14,000 bottles of Merlot. Because we found a very nice Merlot close to the other vineyard that we are managing since some years. And the other red is Sangiovese. This is really a small production, around between 6,000 and 7,000 bottles. Great selection of Sangiovese, 100% Sangiovese, that we keep for a few months, around 8-9 months in tonneau, fermented in stainless steel, tonneau for refinement, and then concrete, and then bottle. And that's for Villa Castiglioni, our Sangiovese wine. Those are the two reds that we like to keep, because the Merlot gave a very nice fruit. It's not a bold Merlot. It's a fresh, drinkable Merlot. Nothing to do with the Merlot from Bulgaria or from other border area. Sangiovese is when we have time to keep it for a bit longer, because the production is very small. It becomes so fine and elegant. I mean, also there, the typical sapidity that you get from the Verdicchio, you recognize the same mineral and sapid notes that you have on Sangiovese as well.
That's interesting. For those of you who never tried reds from Marche, from Matelica, it's a very interesting experience. Yeah, indeed, these are varieties that are grown in the other regions, but they do have a different character. It was very interesting experience to taste them.
And it's completely different also, because the most common red variety that give important wine in the market is, it's Montepulciano, mainly for the Rosso Conero. And also, of course, you have a different all over the region, a lot of Sangiovese used together with Merlot or Cabernet to make some Rosso Piceno. But really, in Matelica, you mainly find Sangiovese and Merlot.
Yeah. Are there many producers in Matelica area nowadays? How many in total?
No, not many. probably we are a bit more than 20, more or less. More or less, yes, a bit more than 20. In total, yeah, a small calculation, less than 300 hectares, more than 20 producer, with one or two producer that has quite a large property. At the end, there are different small producers with some new entry in the last few years. And what is nice is that most of these new entry are going towards something that we like. Vertical approach, no wood, trying to put focus on the really notes of the Verdicchio, nice acidity. So I think we like this approach. We are on that side. So when we see new guys trying to take the same road, we like it.
Well, that's great. It looks like a very small and cozy community of the winemakers out there.
Yeah.
I do still have a couple of questions for you, Gabriele, but I would like to ask the audience if you guys have any questions. Please, you can write them on the chat or raise your hand, and I will give you a mic. So if you have anything to ask about Matelica or Verdicchio or any other questions to Gabriele, please do so. And I would like to ask you, Gabriele, if speak about food. I'm always curious, not only in wine but also in the food. What are how you could describe the signature dishes of your area, and what do you think makes the best pair with your wines? Well, with Verdicchio, I would say.
We are the Marche region is was mainly done by small industry and farmers, and they used to eat what make us famous. Probably the most famous dishes are, I can mention probably 2, 3. One is Vincis Grassi. Vincis Grassi is chicken gizzard and goose ragu with tomato and cheese. That can be described as a friend of mine in London described it, the next level of lasagna. So that's the Vincis Grassi. And then the olive alla scolana, that are these olives stuffed with pork and chicken meat, and then deep fried with deep fried. And then the soft salami, that is chausco. These are the very typical and most known dishes. But in general, Anna, we eat a lot of. There is a long coast. We have more than 140 kilometers of coast. So as you can imagine, we have a lot of fish. Very common are the mussel, the moscio, or brodetto, fish soup. So as you can imagine, those kind of things pairs perfectly with the Verdicchio. Oliva alla scolana, ciauscolo, those kind of things that has a bit of fat or some fry tasting are perfect with the acidity of the Verdicchio. Another quite common dish is we use a lot of codfish. So you can imagine this fat fish, with a quite tough meat. It's perfect again with the Verdicchio. Codfish is common because we have been under the Pope domination for a long time, and the Pope loved the codfish. I think they were the main importers of codfish from Greenland, sorry, in a long past. And so really those kind of dishes really pairs with the Verdicchio. By curiosity, the other day. I went to see the menu of one of the most renowned restaurants we have, the 3-star Michelin Ugazzi in Senigallia. That, by the way, for our Vigneto Fogliano. And reading through the menu, really, at the end, I said, wow, 80% of all these dishes really are really perfect for the Verdicchio. And because, as you said at the beginning, the Verdicchio is very versatile. So you can have, for example, our Verdicchio in Matelica, that is perfect for antipasti, light dishes with pasta or fish, or even light meat or white meat. And when you go to more elaborated dishes, you just need to either take an older vintage of Verdicchio Matelica, or you take the Fogliano, or you jump to Senex if you find it, because really there the production is so little. That is Senex is our top selection that we make only in a few vintage, and it comes from the same vineyard of the Vigneto Fogliano, so from the old vine. And
yeah. It's Senex. I'm sorry, sorry for interrupting, but Senex was the first wine I tasted from Vichy. It's a Opera wine, the one that
you started from the serious one.
yeah, the serious one, exactly.
No, I mean, Senex is something very particular, something that really, together with Fogliano, together with the Verdicchio material, give you really the idea how versatile is the Verdicchio. And I want to mention, I don't know if I have some time, I can go ahead. Otherwise, I stop you. You tell me, Anna. Because on this point of versatility of Verdicchio, really, during the pandemic, there was a lot of online meeting, online interview. And in one of these interviews done by another producer with an American journalist, a sommelier, an Italian sommelier, Nelson Pari, great guy that he was working in Pall Mall in London, he made a really nice, really nice point about Verdicchio, giving the different, not style, but the different result from Verdicchio, only talking about the different age and different selection. So he was comparing the Verdicchio when he's young and cool vintage to a Chablis, to a young Chardonnay. And he continued up to ending up to very old selection, comparing it with Morceau, another Chardonnay. In between, he put it also with compare the 2-3 years old Verdicchios with some Riesling. So really, this was a beautiful, let's say, comparison, just to say how versatile and how the great Verdicchio and great producer of Verdicchio can make beautiful wines that really can be compared to well-known around the globe, well-known varieties, well-known denominations.
Well, absolutely. I think Verdicchio is one of the most fascinating white varieties of Italy. One of best, I don't know, 3 best, I would say, one of 5 best. Well, it's on my personal top 3. Honestly, within Italian wines.
Usually, what is well recognized by sommelier and people that write about wine is that probably the main 3 white varieties in Italy are the Greco, the Soave from the classical area, from the volcanic area, and the Verdicchio. Those are the 3 main white grapes that produce beautiful wines.
Well, I would agree, except for I would change Greco for Fiano, but it's my preference. I
No,
appreciate.
I think you're right. I think I was my fault because I wasn't sure about the two. Probably, I'm sure you're right. It's Fiano is the one that, yeah.
I'm glad we're on the same page. Yeah, really, it's something really outstanding. Well, I have I think the last question for you, because now the session is about to be over, but I would like to ask about not specifically about wine, but if a person comes to your area, what is a must see? You can name your own favorite things. As a local person, I'm really curious where you like to go, what you personally can advise to those who come to the area, who are who is enthusiastic about wine, who loves eating and drinking well, and seeing the nature. Just your own preferences.
Well, really, Marche is finally becoming popular to different tourists, but we still have a lot of space with them. It means that there are not too many around. It's becoming more and more popular because people start to recognize that it's still a good place to stay. Especially on holidays. You stay on top of one of these beautiful rolling hills, and you can enjoy the nature and the agriculture you have around you. And you have the sea that is close by. Between half an hour and 40 minutes, you are by the sea. And there you can enjoy beautiful restaurants still with affordable price, with beautiful Verdicchio as well, with beautiful other grape from Le Marche, Pecorino or Bianchello, beautiful wine that you can drink still with affordable price. And again, if you go back on the top of the hill, and within another half an hour, 40 minutes, you are on top of the mountains, and you can have a beautiful walk. There are beautiful trails for mountain bikes. There are beautiful naturalistic trails, and that's what I would do. But and if I want to enjoy nightlife, especially summertime, you go down south to San Benedetto, Porto San Giorgio. There are beautiful places where you can enjoy music. Or another thing you need to consider. I'm original from Macerata. It is the province of where the state resides. Macerata is the second largest open theater, open arena. It's the second behind the Arena di Verona. And there, if you like the opera from Rossini, that is another Marchigiano composer, you can enjoy a beautiful live concert or live opera at the Arena Sferisterio di Macerata. So there are plenty of things. You will not find Ibiza style. You will find more relaxed place where you can enjoy both beautiful nightlife, beautiful relaxing beach, very, very quiet and calm rolling hills and countryside.
Nice, beautiful. More and more reasons to come visit Marche. I didn't know about the opera stage. Well, we have Andrei here. He has a question. Can Andrei, please?
Hello. Hi.
Hi, Andrei.
I am Italian wine ambassador. My name is Andre, and I'm from Latvia. I'm really huge fan of Verdicchio, and I must say that, I also was the part of Gita Scholastica when we visit last November your region, and many years. I'm really huge fan of your wines. And what I want to say, and then I will ask my question, okay? I am a wine writer, but also I'm a wine club owner. And last Friday, we had a wine tasting of your neighbor, winery Borgo Paglianeto. You know this, of course. I hope you are good friends, not a competitor. And what I must say that Verdicchio, despite this variety, has let's say, bad reputation from the end of last century as amphora wine, pizzeria wine, you know. But this time, during wine tasting, what amazed me, the wine that was really great, the wine has such amazing fruity acidity. They help me, and let's say a restaurant, when we are sitting during last several years, to earn more money as a restaurant, of course, because people they are usually ordering 2 plates, 2 courses. This time they order 3 or even 4, because this great taste and great acidity, they promote to order more food. So I let's say hope, and I suggest to work more and more the restaurant to explain which advantages your variety and your wine could give them. So this is just my, let's say, experience and my good wishes. What about my question is, do you have a plan, let's say, for releasing of aged wine? Let's say after the 3-4 years bottle aging, the organoleptic of Verdicchio dramatically changing in good way. I mean, it became more complex, more noble. So, do you have such a plan? Or,
well, Andrei,
I mean, to produce aged wine as an additional wine label in your lineup. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrei. Thanks for the note about your clients. I'm happy that you made more money, and but really it really doesn't surprise me. I mean, you know, the acidity. Probably some top sommelier doesn't want me to say it this way, but really the acidity helps you to clean the mouth, and you really feel the need to have another bite. You know, you have a sip and another bite and a sip and another bite. With that acidity, you can go ahead for hours, and then, you know, you start to even sing. I mean, really, that's the beauty of this kind of wine, and wine with this style. Going to the question, we do already release Vigneto Fogliano after 2 years. The idea behind the wine is to really even try to keep it more, but I think 2 years, 1 year in concrete, 1 year in bottle, it's a perfect time to show the wine, and then from then on, leave the wine to evolve for the next 10 years in bottle. And the Fenix is released after more or less 4 years, after spending more than 3 years in concrete and 1 year in bottle. So we are really producing something that we released after a few years. What we are doing more, and we started to do this since 2-3 years now, we should have done in the past as well, is trying to keep aside some of these bottles and trying to, not to release, but really to show to people, to let people taste how a great selection or good selection of Verdicchio can age. Because we producer that produce great selection of Verdicchio, we always state it. I mean, good Verdicchio can age more than 10 years. And, sometimes I see the eyes of people in front of me when I explain this, that they never had a Verdicchio older than 10 years. So they trust me and they try to say, okay, I do trust you. And but then when you show them that it's really something super true, I mean, it's great, and that's what we're trying to do. Trying to keep aside a bit more of stock of wine we produce, and trying to let people show and enjoy later on. Unfortunately, we don't have a huge production. In total, we produced 140,000 bottles. Probably we arrive 150,000, probably a bit more on the Verdicchio. We never become an industry. We always stay as a farmer, as artisanal producer. And
yeah, for sure.
So not having a huge quantity, we don't put aside, but we are trying to do an effort and putting aside the more we can.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Andrea, for the question. It's really interesting what you mentioned about the restaurant and about the highlights that it's getting from Verdicchio wine in the wine list. That's really a fantastic point. Thank you.
Yeah, and actually, it will help.
Okay, boys and girls, thank you so much. Thank you, Andrea, Anna, and Gabriele. We have come to the hour. I'm afraid I'm going to have to close up the room. I had a couple of questions myself for Gabriele, but I'll have to do it in person because we have run out of time. Thank you so much. It was a great conversation. We are very much looking forward to more conversation about Verdicchio, especially from Matelica, and also maybe one day we can do a blind tasting with those from Jesi. Thank you very much. Once again, Anna, thank you for coming back. And Andrea, keep up the good work. And Gabriele, grazie mille. Alla prossima.
Grazie
Thank you.
Ci vediamo nelle Marche, anche a te, Anna. See you in le Marche.
Sì, alla prossima.
Swirl, sniff, sniff, sip, sip.
Listen to the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Himalaya FM, and more. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. Until next time, cin cin.